I'm all in.
A lot can happen with just 2 words.
All in. I'm all in.
Say them at the wrong time, and you're heading for the exit.
Oh, no.
Just as more than 7,000 have done so far in the main event.
I'm all in. All in.
Say them at the right time, and you could be on your way to a championship, which is what those who remain are hoping for. A lot can happen with just 2 words. Who will say them next?
I'm all in.
Welcome back to the Rio and the World Series of Poker presented by Jack Link's Beef Jerky. With Norman Chad, I'm Lon McCarran, and day 6 of the 2010 main event is going strong. What was once a sea of poker tables has shrunk to 17, and with every all-in, there's a chance the field will get even smaller.
Hey guys.
2 of the brothers Mizrachi were on the wrong end of those 2 words, but 2 others are still in the hunt, as are 2 great young pros, Eric Baldwin and Phil Galfond, and the ultimate survivor, Jean-Robert Ballon.
We got some chips now.
With only 155 players remaining, every seat is filled by a potential main event champion. At the feature table, Matt Affleck, who was knocked out on day 6 last year, is still looking to complete some unfinished business, but to do it, he'll have to continue to fight off the serve and volley of former tennis pro Nick Rainey.
It's a little more money in this thing than the US Open or Wimbledon or anything. I could still make Wimbledon. If someone will give me a prop bet in doubles, I could make it for sure.
How much training would you have to do to get back?
Not too much really in doubles. Like, you don't half the court. It's not a ton of room. Doubles is just being right place, right time.
No, this is the right place. This is the right time. This is the main event. This is someone's chance for $9 million.
Matt Affleck, the one-time chip leader from Seattle, so far enjoying his 2nd straight deep run at the main event on the Jack Link's Beef Jerky pocket cam. King 9 offsuit. Matt will watch from the sidelines. Pull it over to Russian pro Sergei Rybachenko. He'll lay it down. Now, Nick Rainey.
This dwindling field has very few amateurs left, very few players left over the age of 30.
Rainey folds to Gary Kostiuk, who fills both those categories, Norman. He's 49 and an amateur. He folds King Trey. Now over to Danny Chamberlain in the small blind. Chamberlain with Queen 7 off.
This guy is the master of massive no-limit fields this year at the World Series. He was 60th in an event with 3,000 players, 54th in an event with 3,300, and now this.
Nobody in the pot so far, so it's a good time for any 2 cards in the small blind. He raises to 50,000. In the big blind, Gabriel Nassif with pocket 8s.
He attended the Institute of Mathematics of Jussieu in Paris. I believe they are Le Rambling Wreck.
And he makes the call with that pocket pair.
Danny Chamberlain thinks mathematics is cool.
The flop is Trey 6-6, Nassif with 2 pair now, still best.
Chamberlain has shown us the willingness to play any 2 cards and bet at any flop, anytime, anywhere, anyhow, for any reason.
There's a continuation donation of 60,000.
Nassif has a Magic the Gathering background, and in Magic, you would call this flop.
And he does. And he's got the best hand. Turn card now is an ace. Nassif still way ahead. Neither player has an ace.
Chamberlain putting on his thinking cap. I believe it's on backwards.
How good a salesman is he? 120,000.
Chamberlain also has shown us the willingness to bet at any turn, anytime, anywhere, anyhow, for any reason.
Nassif makes the call.
Of course, with Nassif's math background, he knows there's a 1 in 3 chance Danny Chamberlain is full of hooey.
All right, a river card. Deuce of spades. Nassif with his pocket 8s earns the check mark.
Here comes Queen High.
Chamberlain, same bet, 120,000.
Chamberlain has also shown a willingness to bet at any river, anytime, anywhere, anyhow, for any reason, with absolutely positively no chance of having the best hand. And you know what? It just might work. He bluffs in the form of a value bet, and Nassif can't beat much.
Nassif trying to get a read on Chamberlain and makes the call, and his stubbornness pays off.
I love how Chamberlain turns over Queen 7 like, what did you expect?
Look at Nassif. He is quite relieved. Chamberlain put a shovel in his own hands pre-flop and dug deeper on every street.
Thank you.
And to his credit, Nassif went with his read, stuck to his guns, and inflates his chip stack, and remains one of the fortunate few still with a shot at poker glory. Norman, with just about 150 players remaining, we are left with a field of mostly unfamiliar names in what for them is uncharted territory. But as we've learned over the last few years, the main event is less about living up to your reputation and more about defining it.
Lon, if you've made the final 150, you can make the November 9. At this point last year, Joe Cata was an unknown college dropout and Darvin Moon was an unknown, unbelievable logger. Now they are main event immortals. Someone here will indeed become the next Joe Cata, but actually there is no one out there who even remotely resembles Darvin Moon. Let's face facts. They broke the mold with that guy.
Darvin was the chip leader on day 6 last year. This year, at least for now, Rob Pisano was at the top, the only man above $5 million. Michael Mizrachi just under $4 million. Matt Affleck just over $3 million. The average stack $1.5 million. Let's check in on Pisano, who is poised to get even richer. With pocket deuces, he called the all-in of Theo Tran holding ace-7.
A couple of Las Vegas pros. Pisano 26, Tran is 28.
Robert Mizrachi at this table looking on. Now here's the flop. It is 4-Jack-9. Pisano's deuces keep the hammer.
Tran's made 4 World Series final tables. This is Pisano's first World Series cash. He's trying to make it count big time.
Turn card is a tray, no help to Theo Tran.
And Tran running out of time. He needs an ace or a 7 or he is gone.
And the river card. Oh, he got his ace! Tran waits until the very last second to survive and double up.
Pisano reorganizes his big stack. And Theo Tran, 125th at last year's main event, still with a chance to better that finish at this year's main event.
So Pisano doubles up Theo Tran.
Stays on the river. Thank you, Barry Greenstein.
And of course, a reference to Barry's famous book of the same name. All 4 Mizrachi brothers cashed in this main event. 2 are still in it. Michael dueling with one-time chip leader Dewey Lay after the river.
Lay graduated from UC Davis, dropped out of UCLA Law School. He's mostly an online player.
600,000 is the bet.
2 big stacks clashing here.
How will Mizrachi react to that?
$2 million.
Grinder raises to $2 million.
And Lay looks like he's disgusted. He just gave up 600,000 chips.
And lays his hand down. And Michael Mizrachi will stack his chips, and that will give Mizrachi the chip lead here on day 6.
It's pretty amazing, Lon. Mizrachi was nursing a small stack earlier at this main event for a good while, and now he's the biggest stack in the room.
What a day 6 he has had. At another table, bracelet winner and one-time chip leader Phil Galfond with pocket 6s has a tough decision. He is faced with a pre-flop re-raise, and his opponent is giving nothing away. Galfond's antagonist is Josua Sovajo with pocket jacks.
Now I feel like if I fold, I'm letting everybody know.
Galfond's been downtrending for a while now. Sova Joe, perhaps seeking the meaning of life.
Okay, I'm all in.
And Galfond moves all in.
Sova Joe has been awakened just in time to make a decision.
And he has Galfond covered.
Call.
And makes the call with his jacks. And Galfond reveals to the table
Nice hand. Good luck.
that he's in trouble.
Galfond in trouble, but upbeat in the face of being knocked out.
So Galfond, a top performer in both online and live games, in danger. The flop king, 10-5. That's about as bad a flop as he could fear.
I don't even want to, see that.
See what?
I don't want to get too honored.
I don't know if the flop could have been any better.
He's like, I want to get it. Could have been.
Sova Joe expecting the worst. Geez, he should put his head back down.
The turn card, deuce of diamonds. Phil Galfond down to perhaps his final river card.
Galfond now 1 card away from elimination by Sova Joe. Only a 6 saves Phil Galfond.
The river card is a king, and that will do it. Phil Galfond eliminated from the 2010 main event. A nice bounty there for Sova Joe.
And one of the game's best says goodbye.
Galfond was the first player this year to break the 2 million chip mark, but now he's gone. He was fun to watch.
Poker, like a lot of things in life, it's all about strategy. Sometimes it pays to act weak when you're really in a position of strength. Learn to play better poker for free at the world's largest poker site, PokerStars.com, and find the poker star in you.
The World Series of Poker, presented by Jack Link's Beef Jerky. Main event.
Phil Galfond making his way out of the Rio, where only 140 players remain in this main event, and two of them happen to be brothers. Chip leader Michael Mizrachi visiting with his brother Robert and Theo Tran.
I don't think the Mizrachis should discuss family business with outsiders.
At this point of the tournament, Norman, it's amazing to find anybody still left from your own hometown, much less your own home. What a story that is. Meanwhile, back to table two. The last woman still playing is Bree Zuckerman, a journalist turned life coach from California. Breeze looks down at Ace Queen.
At the first tournament she ever played, Breeze met Barbara Enright, the only woman to make a main event final table. They became friends, and Barbara became Breeze's poker mentor.
She raises to $61,000 to Walter Salas from the original Rio de Janeiro, that is. Ace 7 into the mug.
But here's my annual question, Lon. Where are all the women? Only 3% of main event entrants were women. 3%? This isn't a boys' club. There are no restrictions, no qualifications, no testosterone needed. Anyone can play.
I agree. Over to former college baseball star Eric Baldwin in the small blind with pocket tens.
Baldwin has a psychology degree from Wisconsin at Whitewater. Bree Zuckerman is studying for her master's in psychology at California Lutheran.
$51,000 is the call from Baldwin. He'll go heads up with Zuckerman. Jack Deuce Ace Zuckerman hits a race to grab the lead.
Not a single woman won a bracelet this year in an open event, Lon. You know, it's not that hard to outwit a man.
Baldwin checks.
Hey, if you're a woman out there and you can hear the sound of my voice, come play in the main event.
Zuckerman will let Baldwin see a free turn card. It's a king. Zuckerman still with a big advantage.
Baldwin's a man, and I'll bet you he might not even know he picked up a straight draw.
Oh, he did? 61. Baldwin needs a queen for a straight. Zuckerman now with the ace. 61. Reaching for chips. 61,000.
61? I guess she's a big Roger Maris fan.
Back to Eric Baldwin, who certainly knows that number.
As you said, he played baseball.
He lays it down, and Zuckerman will take that pot.
Ladies out there, see how easy it is? Men are pushovers.
With that win, Zuckerman owns almost 1 million chips. Baldwin lays that one down, but he knows as well as anyone that you do not need to bat 1,000 to be successful.
I guess I was kind of your everyday American kid story, like grew up watching Major League Baseball, and that's what I wanted to be. I went to the University of Wisconsin at Whitewater, won a Division III national championship my senior year. After I was done with baseball, there was this huge void in my life, like, well, now what? And I was really fortunate to find poker because it really filled in a lot of those things that were missing in my life. Appreciate it. There's a lot of similarities with poker and baseball, like preparation and hard work end up leading to success.
All in.
A goal of mine was always to win a bracelet, and I was fortunate enough to accomplish that last year. And then a week later, I ended up with a third place. If you'd told me that I'd be in this position 5 years ago when I first started playing, I would have thought you were crazy. But it's been just a super fun ride, and I really hope it continues.
Baldwin's been below chip average most of this main event, but says he's zoned in and primed to go very deep.
All right, from the baseball guy to the other stick and ball guy, former tennis pro Nick Rainey sitting at our feature table. Rainey, 29, from West Hollywood, California. And he has ace-queen off.
And Rainey once was a tennis pro at the Las Vegas Hilton. That's what I love about this town. 24-hour room service, around-the-clock gambling. The concierge can hook you up with Cirque du Soleil tickets or a tennis coach.
A raise to $47,000 to the amateur Kostiuk. Trey Deuce. And he folds.
Or you can come to the Rio, great buffet, meet Penn and Teller, play in the World Series, and go home with $9 million.
All right, folded. Round two, Matt Affleck. He's in the big blind.
Where else can you find $9 million on a vacation?
Ace-10 offsuit.
Matt last year had a chance for the big prize. He imploded. Now he's got another chance this year.
Affleck called for $27,000 more. He'll go heads up with Rainey, who goes undercover. The flop is Jack 4-5. That misses both. Rainey with ace-queen still has the best hand. Affleck first to act, and he checks.
Affleck with one of the more measured and mellow checks I have seen in my 50 years in the business line.
Rainey checks behind him. Turn card is a 7. Neither improves. Who wants it? To Affleck.
Affleck's checks line are as smooth as butter, and ironically, you know he's dying to bet.
So Rainey now decides to see what happens when he bets $53,000.
Rainey goes with the wicked cross-court backhand.
Affleck, will he counter? He does call.
And Lon, I didn't think Matt could cover that much ground, but he got to it.
River card is a king. Rainey with his ace-queen has the check mark.
Well, let's see if either one can hit a winner here from the baseline. It's a squadouche fest.
Another check from Matt.
That check is hypnotic.
King 6 got there.
Rainey checks. Ace high is good, but not your ace high, Matt. Rainey will win it with his ace queen.
The one ace high beat me.
Matt, where was your trademark aggression? You let him off. Bet the river and it would have been game, set, and match.
I got some crowd.
Fired up.
Supposed to scream, you guys. Let's go, let's go.
What, that hand's going to get a standing ovation?
Cheering is allowed and encouraged.
Applause or no, Nick Rainey has to feel good about taking that pot with no pair. Every chip is so valuable at the main event.
The boardroom table and the poker table. The only difference between them is a layer of felt. At these tables we go all in. We're fully leveraged. Reading risk and reward here isn't much different than reading it on a spreadsheet. We play because poker's like business, without the conference calls. The office may close at 6, but there's a game that's always open. We play at FullTiltPoker.com.
Back inside the Rio, fewer than 140 players remain in the 2010 main event. Robert Mizrachi, one of them. He just moved all in with pocket sevens against Manuel Davidian's ace-queen. Two of Robert's brothers and his sister-in-law looking on. Both the brothers have been knocked out. Lily's been watching the whole family the entire way. All of Robert's chips at risk. The flop deuce 6 king. Robert's pocket sevens keep him ahead.
This is the third time in 4 years Robert has cashed in the main event. This is his best showing yet.
All right, turn card with Mizrachi at risk is another king.
Robert Mizrachi all in, but doesn't look like he's going anywhere. Davidian needs an ace or a queen to knock out Mizrachi.
The river card's a tray. Davidian comes up short. Kings and sevens pump a little life into Robert Mizrachi's chances.
Team Mizrachi, getting lucky.
How do you explain these indestructible Mizrachis? I guess it could be steroids.
Robert up to almost 900,000 on the Full Tilt tournament ticker. Here's a look at some of the best main event finishes by siblings. Howard Lederer and Annie Duke outlasted 96% of the field in 03. The Bilzerians, 98% last year. The Mizrachis are at 98% right now. This, the second largest main event field in history.
It's nice to get aces once in a while. It's even nicer if they hold up.
The aces belong to Jean-Robert Balland. He has David Peters on the ropes and in danger of elimination. Peters with a pair of kings.
I don't even want an ace. I want a deuce of spades.
Turn card. Well, he got his ace.
Yeah, sorry, Jean-Robert. That makes you a 91% favorite now. Peters now with a Broadway draw needs a jack to stick around.
The river card. There's the deuce, and Jean-Robert will take another pot and eliminate David Peters.
Peters, a 23-year-old Ohio pro with his third World Series cash.
He made a final table this year. He scores $57,000.
Nice when the best hand holds up, let me tell you. Very, very nice.
I wonder, has Jean-Robert ever been behind in a hand and then beaten somebody? I'll have to check my records.
As David Peters' exit is announced, let's get back to the featured table.
You should just announce their online names so we know who they are.
Norman, I'm not sure saying Surf Puppy 91 has been eliminated will go over too well.
My first ex-wife's mother plays online?
All right, action on Danny Chamberlain. 44. Danny missed the whole card cam, but raises to 44,000.
He doesn't even care what his cards are anymore.
Affleck lays down.
He's laying low. Maybe we can sneak him into the November 9 without him playing another hand.
Rapachenko with pocket queens.
This is his third cash at this World Series.
Having a good run here this year. He says he learned to play poker by watching it on TV.
If he was watching us, I don't see how that's possible.
He re-raises to 115,000. Over to Gary Kostiuk now. Gary looks down at ace-king.
I raise all in.
And he moves all in for over 400,000 chips. Jared Ingles in the big blind lays it down. Chamberlain folds, so back to Rybachenko.
I still don't think Chamberlain even looked at his cards.
Rybachenko with the queens makes the call to put Kostiuk at risk.
Queen's ace king. I got case king.
Gary updating his son Ryan on the proceedings.
Kostiuk, diagnosed with MS 3 years ago, playing in his first ever live tournament here.
It's been a good week for me, guys. It's been a good week. Nice playing with Charter.
It's not over yet, Gary.
You know I'm going to win this hand, eh? It's all about confidence. I want to win this hand.
Does he even have a chance?
I'm crushing him. He's crushed.
6 of diamonds.
Rybachenko's been put on notice.
Here's the flop. Kostyuk at risk. 8-10-7. Rybachenko thinks who's crushing who.
There's my 8 of hearts, Ryan. There's my 8 of hearts, buddy.
Kostyuk, though, is running out of cards.
The last 2 times I was all in, and one when I was behind, I had runner hearts.
That would work for him here. Turn card is the king of diamonds. Who needs hearts? Kostyuk catches his king.
Rybachenko had been forewarned. Told he was going to be crushed. He's in the process of being crushed. He'll now need a queen to send Gary Kostyuk home.
And now the river card. It is a deuce. And Kostyuk doubles up to almost $1 million.
You know, Gary Kostyuk wasn't ready to leave, and, well, he doesn't have to leave yet.
400. Who do I run like? KK! Woo!
Amateur Gary Kostyuk enjoying the ride of his first main event.
In poker, it's good to have multiple personalities. I'm always mixing up my play to keep people guessing. Who will I be this hand? Trapping Gus, who check raises your chips away? Aggressive Gus, who plays every hand no matter what? How I play is up to you. We play at FullTiltPoker.com.
Back at the Rio for day 6 of the 2010 main event, where Gary Kostyuk is still savoring his double up at the hands of Russian poker pro Sergei Rybachenko, allowing Gary to finally creep towards 1 million chips.
I've been waiting for this double up for 3 days.
It's rarely easy at the main event, but Kostyuk has been fighting a much more difficult battle away from the table.
I've been diagnosed with a very progressive form of multiple sclerosis. And I think my prognosis is very poor, to be honest. Getting dressed is difficult. I can't stand any longer. I'm starting to lose dexterity in my hands, so that even for keyboard and click a mouse sometimes gets fatiguing. Just don't spill them, because I had trouble stacking them. Thanks very much, sweetie. I'm in pretty big time trouble here in the next 2 to 5 years. Poker keeps me mind sharp. I'm very, very passionate about it. It truly was on my bucket list to come and play in the World Series of Poker, and this has been one of the most amazing weeks of my life. And raise all in. My first goal was to cash, and then of course as the week went on, I just basically decided to take step-by-step goals and try and make the very next date. It's been more than I could have ever dreamed of, and I'm living that dream, basically living that dream. It's been wonderful.
Gary gained entry into the main event by winning a satellite tournament and now being guaranteed more than $57,000. He's more than made back his $330 investment. Action continues here at the featured table. The antes are $3,000, the blinds $10,000 and $20,000. Christian Harder on the Jack Link's Beef Jerky Pocket Cam, Ace 5 suited.
He made back-to-back European Poker Tour final tables in 2008. He's also made a WPT final table.
And he raises to $47,000 from UTG or Under the Gun. Over to Brandon Stephen with pocket sevens.
He started rebuilding and selling used cars as a teenager, and he now owns a bunch of car dealerships.
This is his second World Series cash. $47,000 is the call to Kostyuk. Ace Queen of Spades.
He's gotten some coaching from Ari Engel and David Shikotsky.
And Gary wants to put his newly won chips to work, and $47,000 is the call from him. Over to the big blind, Matt Affleck. He went from $3 million to $0 in just about 6 hours on day 6 last year. King Jack off.
You hate King Jack, but you gotta love 7-1 on a call. $27,000 to Matt. The pot is almost $200,000.
So Matt and 3 other players will see a flop. Brandon Stephen, the only pocket pair, his pocket sevens in the lead right now. The flop is Trey Ace 6. Kostyuk now best with the bigger ace. Harder, a 14% hand with the weaker ace. Stephen and his pocket sevens, a long shot. Affleck way behind. And he checks.
Harder's got that weak ace. The last hand General Custer played the night before Little Bighorn, I believe, was a weak ace.
He will test the others with that top pair and inferior kicker, $85,000. Stephen folds. Kostyuk makes the call with the best hand.
Yeah, do you see the difference, Lon, between the weak ace and the strong ace?
I see it now.
Okay, it's taking you this Vaughn to understand this very critical difference in poker. You don't want to play a weak ace.
Affleck folded, and Harder takes the lead with aces up on the turn.
Well, General Custer wasn't as lucky as Christian Harder.
Harder with chips. He bets 225.
How much behind?
Gary, with little reason to think he's behind, asking how much Harder has.
I'm all in.
And he raises Harder all in.
Harder's got to believe he's got the best hand here, but it's for all his chips, so he will pause and consider it.
Harder does move all in. And he's got the best of it. Gary Kostiuk about to give up some chips.
Kostiuk can't like it.
Turn 2 pair. You did.
Oh my God.
And that is not good news to Kostiuk and his supporters.
Well, I remember my read.
What?
I remember my read. Good hand.
Kostiuk looking for a queen or a 6 to knock out Christian Harder.
The river card is a deuce, and just like that, Harder doubles to almost 1.6 million.
Good hand, Christian.
Thanks. Sorry, Gary.
Well, that's cool.
And Gary gives up all the ground he gained in that recent double-up and more. Time for Gary to rebuild. Meanwhile, Michael Mizrachi is the current chip leader with 133 players remaining, but that number might change as one-time chip leader Tony Dunst and Charles Don't Call Me Chuck Norris are both all in and covered by Ian Gordon, who's ahead with pocket queens against ace-king and ace-10.
If I bust, it's an honorable way to go out. Didn't spew it off. Can't complain.
I want that tie.
Dunst with the ace-king and a great attitude. Here's the flop, and there's a king. Tony is rewarded. He takes command. Gordon's queens run into tough luck, and Norris is the longest of shots.
Even some Chung Kuk Do will not save Chuck Norris right here.
Turn card is another 6. Dunst still a heavy favorite. Gordon needs a poker lifeline. Norris is out and drawing dead.
Gordon will need a queen to knock out Dunst, and Norris is heading to the exit.
The river card is a 10 of spades, and with kings up, Dunst will double up to more than 2 million while knocking out Charles Norris.
Table 372.
Nice playing.
But the only problem I have with Tony Dunst, and I like the cut of his jib, is that you should shake the hand of the fellow you knocked out before you start texting.
Dunst happy to survive, happy to stack his 2 million chips.
I mean, get it in with aces, right? Yep. What can you do?
Jean Robert has aces again.
I came here prepared to take one hit. So if it happens, good luck to you. If it doesn't happen, good luck to me.
In a tight spot with pocket kings is Jose Manuel Nadal.
Come on, just flop me an ace. I don't even want to sweat. I don't want to fade a 2-outer.
I just checked my notes. Every time Jean Robert is in a hand, he's talking and his opponent is not.
Deuce 10 queen.
Like that. Come on, dog. No face cards. We don't want to see a face card. No more. A nice little deuce ball would be just fine.
A nice little deuce ball would be just fine. The Jean Robert Balan story.
9 on the turn.
Good.
Nadal turns a straight draw.
Nadal needs a king or a jack, or he is wamboozled.
The river card. Oh, a king for Nadal. Nadal will survive and dish that horrendous beat to Milan.
The best hand doesn't always hold up, and Jean Robert momentarily is silenced. Nadal feels like he just gave birth.
Who runs like this, man?
He is no stranger to bad beats. Even for Milan, that was vicious.
I know you think you got lucky, but it's not you, it's me. I've never been able to beat a 2-outer. I mean, that I already won once. Well, I beat King Queen, that's not a 2-outer. If I could fade 2-outers, it'd be unbelievable.
Yet another classic Jean Robert moment.
The World Series of Poker, presented by Jack Link's Beef Jerky. Main event.
Back at the Rio, where Jean Robert Balan is still feeling the sting of having his pocket aces cracked.
The sting of having aces cracked. The Jean Robert Balan story.
Amazingly, at Balan's tables, the aces of Pascal Lefrancois on the left may suffer the same fate because Jesper Hogo just flopped 2 pair. Lefrancois all in.
Lefrancois looked to the heavens, gave a little shrug, and gets ready to take his leave.
A battle of bracelet winners with 1.6 million chips and Pascal's tournament life in the balance.
Hogo appears to be in pain, but Lefrancois is the one who's suffering. Hogo looking for the knockout.
All right, the turn card is another queen, and Lefrancois retakes the lead with a better 2 pair.
Now they both are standing. I don't think they both can be standing at the same time, Lon. One of them's got to sit back down. There we go. LaFrancois now looking to dodge a 6 or an 8.
It's a jack, and the pocket aces bend, but don't crack, and LaFrancois gets the double up.
Hogo not happy.
There's no reason for the Dane to be happy right now.
Oh, Hogo doesn't take defeat any better than Rex Ryan.
That was a tough one to stomach. So the 23-year-old Canadian student will hang around. Let's move over and check in at table 2. Eric Basebaldy Baldwin is not in the hand, but looking on as 4 others just saw a flop. Andrew Brokus favored with a nut flush draw. Walter Salas with only a king-high flush draw. David Baker, the best hand, pocket queens. David Asseline looking for an excuse to fold his 4-deuce. He checks to Salas,
a former professional race car driver.
And he'll change gears and bet $200,000. To Baker now with his queens.
Baker 7 cashes at this World Series, including 2 final tables.
Baker putting some of his troops together, and he's going to raise it to $520,000.
Now to Brokus with a pair of jacks and the nut flush draw.
Brokus re-raises all in. That's over $1.1 million. Asseline finds his excuse to fold, and Salas gets out of the way as well.
That's a good laydown from Salas, and it leaves us with the 2 savvy pros, with Baker facing a big decision.
The best I can hope for is we're coin flipping. I hope you got like queen jack of clubs, king jack of clubs.
Baker's got this hand cased.
I guess if I slow played myself into disaster, I'll just have to rebuild. I call.
I got what you want me to have.
Brokus in a race for his tournament life.
King, queen of clubs.
Fold king, queen of clubs?
I didn't want to hear that, sir.
How's that?
That was not the right thing to say.
What a pot! It's a $2.8 million chip coin flip. Baker hoping to knock out Brokus.
Queen of clubs.
Turn card. 7 of hearts. Queens up for Baker. He still leads.
Baker sweating it out. Brokus needs an ace, jack, or a club to stay alive.
Spades.
6.
The river card is the club. Brokus rivers a tournament-saving flush, and Baker can't believe it.
That's a good cup.
With a turn of a card, what a turn of events. Brokus is alive and kicking. Baker now on the short stack.
Yeah, Baker was never quite comfortable with that call. Gives up over $1.2 million. Brokus now sits with almost $2.8 million. The size of the pots now at the main event is eye-opening. Let's check back in on the eldest Mizrachi brother. Robert and Benjamin Strati saw the board pair on the turn. Both checked. The river card is an ace of spades.
Strati, a 24-year-old pro from Wisconsin. He found those sunglasses in a spaceship that landed in his backyard.
Mizrachi checked. Strati bets $100,000. Robert calls immediately and waits for Strati to turn over ace-king for aces up. Robert apparently can't beat that, and he'll have to match the bet.
And Robert Mizrachi now down to under 30 big blinds.
Yeah, Robert's struggling to keep his head above water. He has less than half the chip average in the room right now. Back to the feature table. Let's catch up on some of the poker stats that have surfaced. Matt Affleck has been pretty active today. He's voluntarily played in 33% of the hands, while Nick Rainey is right at the table average, playing in 19%. Gary Kostyuk has played a little less frequently, and as we see on the tail of the tape, presented by the official WSOP game, play now on Facebook, each one of the 8 hands Gary has played in has been all in, but of his 7 victories, only 1 has been called.
Gary doesn't raise that often, so when he does, he usually doesn't get any takers. That's the price you pay sometimes when you were too tight aggressive. All you do is win small pots.
In the one hand Gary lost, he paid a big price, sending most of his chips to Christian Harder. Action on Matt Affleck here, in early position. He'll lay down 7-6. Sergei Rybachenko looks down at ace-10 of diamonds.
Rybachenko has cashed 5 times at the World Series, all in no-limit hold'em events, and he made 1 final table in 08.
The Russian pro raises it up to $60,000. The blinds are up to $12,000 and $24,000. Rainey folds to Kostyuk in the small blind. Ace-9.
And I raise all in.
And he re-raises all in for $283,000.
Kostyuk down to 12 big blinds. The ace was good enough to push.
This is 1 short. I got 100 and...
Rybachenko makes the call. He'll have Kostyuk in trouble again. Kostyuk escaped with a double up the last time these two squared off.
Oh, heck, I know. I don't want to stop playing. I don't want to stop playing. Please have ace 8. Oh, not an ace 10. Oh, no, not ace 10.
Gary says he doesn't want to stop playing, and his supporters want him to keep going.
All black. I almost said I don't have ace 10.
Rybachenko again ahead, again with an opportunity to knock out Kostyuk.
Good luck. You're going to need it.
I need it for sure.
Kostyuk again thinking positive thoughts.
All right, here's the flop. Kostyuk at risk. And he catches his card again. Kostyuk now the favorite with a pair of 9s.
I'm glad Sergei Rybachenko is not Jean-Robert Ballant.
I know. Hey, it's all good.
Once again, Rybachenko is the one looking to improve. Turn card, another queen. Kostyuk still way ahead. Rybachenko thinking, is he going to do it to me again?
Kostyuk looking to dodge an ace or a 10.
The river card is a 6, and Kostyuk manages to come from behind and survive another time.
And the bucket list joyride of Gary Kostyuk's life continues. Rybachenko again foiled.
Gary Kostyuk basks in the glow of his good fortune. Time now for Straight from the Pros, brought to you by PokerStars.net. In the main event or in any event, being familiar with your opponent can be a big plus. Just ask Daniel Negreanu about the Tunica Circuit event in 2006.
It happened against Brandon Adams. I raised with Queen 10, and he called, and it came Queen 8-4 with 2 hearts. He checked, and I went ahead and bet. He moved me all in.
I knew you were going to move in on me. I don't know. I might call you.
It's a tough call for Daniel. If he trusts his read, his tournament life is at stake pretty much.
I thought about folding very briefly, but earlier in the tournament, he'd shown me a bluff in a spot where I didn't think he was capable of bluffing. The fact that he bluffed me and it looked very similar to the way that he did this time led me to just believe that my queen was good. I call it.
What a gutsy call.
A deuce misses Adams. River card is a jack. Negreanu is still with us.
There was history before that hand, and I felt like, you know what? I've got to go with my gut here, and I got to make a call.
Day 6 of the 2010 main event rolls on here at the Rio. Eric and Donnie Mizrachi, who had a nice run in this main event, are still cheering on their brothers. Robert, right now, is in a little trouble, well below the chip average. And Michael, who's the chip leader. Grinder in a hand right now with Brock Bourne, an amateur from Naples, Florida. Mizrachi from Miramar, Florida. Michael bets $56,000.
Bourne operates a bunch of websites. This guy's 55 years old. Who let him in?
Bourne makes a raise now to $181,000.
Grinder doesn't think he's getting proper respect from his elders. Call the Nevada Senior Citizens Commission. Get him hauled off.
Grinder makes the call for $125K more. All right, now the river card for these two Floridians. 7 of hearts. They both check. Grinder says, I got a pair of 9s.
Grinder doesn't have much, but he's got enough.
A fling of the cards from Bourne tells Grinder he's won the pot.
Mizrachi Palooza continues.
What a tear Michael Mizrachi has been on. Started the day with under $2 million, now with $5.5 million. All right, let's get back to the featured table where Nick Rainey's unique background has been a constant source of entertainment.
You play it all after USC?
What?
Did you play it all after USC?
Yeah. That was terrible. I played poker a long time when I was back at SC, but I was terrible. I was like a losing player.
You were like with like Robo and Antonius, right?
Yeah.
How good was Patrick at tennis? He was professional, right?
He was never pro, but he's very good. It's impressive.
It's like the Doyle Brunson in basketball thing.
The Lakers, drafted by the Lakers.
Actually, I've beaten Patrick in basketball and Doyle in tennis.
Time for the Jack Links Beef Jerky wild card hand now.
I've heard rumors Jack Links is thinking of cutting me.
You better pick up your win percentage. Affleck folds over to Christian Harder. King, queen off.
Harder looks like he's looking for some trouble.
The 22-year-old with a raise to $57,000. Kostyuk with Jack 10 offsuit. He folds. Over to 23-year-old Jared Ingalls with a couple of 8s.
His nickname is Bear Buck. Are you familiar with the legend of the bear buck, Lon?
Not entirely.
It's a creature that's half bear and half deer. Look it up sometime.
I will. Ingalls called. Chamberlain has the Jack Links wild card hand.
Are you kidding me?
Good luck with that.
Well, if this were old maid, he couldn't have pocket queens.
You're right. He's in the big blind, and he calls.
I'm just going to put him on 7 deuce. Why not? Why wouldn't Danny Chamberlain play 7 deuce out of position?
I think that's the first time you've ever picked 7 deuce. Here's the three-way flop. 6 jack deuce, 2 clubs. Ingles, no improvement to his pocket eights. Harder sees nothing he likes.
The way Chamberlain plays, if he thinks it missed you, he'll bet even if it missed him. I think he'll bet here. Plus, it might even have hit him.
Chamberlain and Ingles check. Harder also checks.
Chamberlain checks. Maybe he's slow playing his deuces.
4 of spades. Ingles, no improvement again to his eights.
Nobody's got anything except memories of the summer of '97.
Ingles first to act. With his pocket pair, bets 71,000. He'll try to get it here.
I'd bet, too. The hand could be over. But Danny's saying not so fast. If he puts Ingles on this type of hand, medium pocket pair, maybe he can push him off of it with a raise.
No, he just calls for 71,000.
I still think Danny's got nothing, not even a draw, and he's planning to take away the pot on the river.
Harder will give up his king high, so heads up to the river.
Danny might have deuces, but that's nothing.
River card is an 8 of clubs. Ingles, river's a set.
Abort Operation Swagglefoosh, Danny. Abort Operation Swagglefoosh, Danny.
Ingles checks his set.
Usually I think you should bet there, but Ingles is figuring Danny might take a stab at it with nothing. He's checking his hand again? Deuces aren't wild, are they?
No, they're not here. Maybe an old maid.
164.
164,000 from your mystery guy.
Operation Swagglefoosh is about to blow up in bluffing Brigadier General Danny Chamberlain's face. I'm thinking check raise here for Ingles.
Ingles will make the call with his set of eights.
Just a call, huh?
So now Chamberlain's going to have to show us what he had. 9-7 of clubs for a rivered flush.
Boy, a flush? I never really saw that coming.
Chamberlain wins the Jack Link's Beef Jerky wild card hand, and you, sir, did not improve your win percentage.
My apologies to Danny Chamberlain, and my apologies to my family for embarrassing all of us yet again on national TV. I wish we were playing old maid.
A tough hand for Ingles to get away from. The pressure mounts with every hand played here on day 6.
At Ultimate Bet, we constantly perfect and test our software to ensure it's the fastest, most advanced around. We consult with the best. So our tournament structure and player interface, rock like no other. But there's one test that totally cleans up at the table. One test that truly defines the ultimate poker experience. Nice! Very nice!
Welcome back inside the Amazon room at the Rio. Let's see what Jean-Robert Belland is up to as he tries to rebuild his chip stack after an ace of diamonds on the turn, a third diamond. His opponent, Pascal Lefrancois, watches as Jean-Robert decides what to do, and he moves an army of orange chips into the middle, 390,000.
The 23-year-old bracelet winner is still in school in Montreal. I wonder if they have any upper-level courses on Jean-Robert Belland.
And Lefrancois lays it down. He says, show me the bluff.
One time.
I think there's a speech in our immediate future.
5-4 off for Belland.
The only reason why I'm showing is because that's the last time I'm on a bluff for the tournament. Boys, if I can't win with aces, I gotta win the pots that don't belong to me.
The pots that don't belong to me. The Jean-Robert Belland story.
Unless I buy pots that don't belong to me.
Belland bought that pot, and now he has $1.6 million. Other notable stacks include Robert Mizrachi with just about half the chip average. The top 5 stacks led by his brother Michael Mizrachi with almost $5.7 million. Joseph Chung currently resides in 5th place, but out in the field, if his aces hold up, he will vault to the top of the list.
There's so much in the pot. It's insane. This is a huge pot.
Christopher George all in with pocket queens. The flop 8-8-7. Chung's aces up, trumping the queens up.
Chung closing in on the chip lead. George close to being out of here.
Turn card is an ace. Chung turns a full boat. Christopher George, drawing dead, will exit the main event in 126th place. He'll win over $57,000.
The hoodies are working. And the tournament online player from San Diego staking his claim in the biggest live game in the world.
Joseph Chung, with almost $5.9 million, is top dog. Everyone here on day 6, though, light years away still from that World Championship bracelet. Back at the feature table, one-time chip leader of this tournament, Matt Affleck, with about $3.3 million. He's up $400,000 on the day. Gary Kostiuk, the amateur, 9-8 of spades. He will not play.
I'm glad to see Matt Affleck hanging tough.
Danny Chamberlain on the button, Jack 8 of clubs.
You give Chamberlain Jack 8 suited on the button, that's like pocket aces to him.
A small raise from him makes it $50,000 to Affleck. Ace deuce off.
I promised Matt's mother, Sue, he would do better than his 80th place finish last year. How do you break a promise to a mother?
That is a tall order to fill, but Matt is well on his way to fulfilling that promise. From the big blind, he makes the call for $26,000 more. The flop is Jack 4-6. Chamberlain outflops Affleck, pairing his Jack.
2 gunslingers, high noon. If you're anywhere in the immediate vicinity, you should take cover.
With ace high, Matt bets $75,000.
75,000 chips and no hand.
Chamberlain with top pair, just a call.
Chamberlain completely baffles me, which makes him a very good player.
Yeah, a tray of spades on the turn. Affleck with a flush draw. Chamberlain still ahead.
Well, Matt picking up that draw, Lon. He's likely to fire again.
He keeps betting into Chamberlain, $175,000.
I just love watching these guys play poker, Lon. It beats watching Steve Stricker line up a 6-foot putt.
Chamberlain just with the call. River card now is another spade. Affleck makes his flush with the tiniest spade in his hand. Matt checks this time.
I could watch that checking motion all day. Matt's got to be worried that Chamberlain has a spade. Any spade beats him, and doesn't Chamberlain have to worry that Matt might have a spade?
Chamberlain's going to find out right here. He bets $180,000.
I don't know what that bet is. I don't know how Matt Affleck folds here. He's getting 4.5 to 1 on a call. There is better than a 1 in 6 chance Chamberlain has a spade. Any spade will beat Matt.
Cool.
Matt calls. Jacks for Chamberlain, but the flush will win it for Matt.
The gunslingers holster their weapons and will rest until the next duel.
Matt Affleck somewhat sheepishly collects that million-chip pot. And Danny Chamberlain is wondering what Matt was up to the whole time.
It's got to be because I didn't bet the queens, right?
Matt doesn't care for a chit-chat when he's stacking chips.
Well, we both know that you have a flush when you check it to me.
I didn't know that.
So if you know that I know that you have a flush.
I didn't know anything.
All Matt Affleck knows is he's got more chips to play with, and this year, he plans to hold on to them. While Day 6 has sent some players back to the real world, the amazing race will continue for survivors, including Jean-Robert Ballon.
I got a stack, right?
The inspirational Gary Kostiuk.
It's been a good week for me, guys. It's been a good week.
Michael Mizrachi and his big brother Robert, and former athletes Eric Baldwin and Nick Rainey.
It's just being right place, right time.
Only 125 players remain in the main event, each of whom is hoping to go from the simple life to the surreal life.
Wow.
By winning the most prestigious prize in poker. But for now, everyone is faced with the same situation, trailing chip leader Joseph Chung. For Norman Chat, I'm Lon McCarran. We'll close out Day 6 next time at the World Series of Poker.